I wanted to ask you about your podcast. Like, it seems so polished, man. Do you ever script anything? I don't think you do, but is there
No.
ever any points that you want to hit? Like, maybe I'm just asking for advice for me.
Okay. Yeah. Well, so excuse me, for a living, I produce government television, basically, and I'm fond of calling it softcore propaganda. It's all fine and good, but the place where I work has incredible talent, because when you live near Washington, D.C., you're pretty much going to work if you're in that industry, you're probably going to touch government or politics in one way or another, and I do, and I work with a lot of talented people. It's the content that can sometimes be trying, but at least I have good equipment and good, talent around me to collaborate with. So, Jim, the producer of Knife Junkie Podcast, I've been producing his podcast at work for like 9 years or so, and that's how we decided to do this in the first place. Jim was like, we should do a podcast. And I was like, no one wants to hear us talk. and then one day I tuned into a podcast that I now like a lot, How Stuff Works.
Oh, yeah. I think I know it. Yeah.
At first I didn't like the hosts. I was like, man, these goofballs, I could totally do this. And then I started to really like them and realize they're just being who they are. And I'm a bit of, who among us is not a goofball? Who among us doesn't have things about their personality that they're shy about or ashamed of or whatever? So put those things aside. You don't have to talk about that or your beliefs, or you can talk about your beliefs, but access them through this topic of knives. And my attachment to knives is not just collecting them, which I do obsessively, which I got to work on, but also, I was involved in knife martial arts for a long time, and I haven't trained in a couple of years now, and I can feel it, I can tell, but that was also another way of me justifying being around knives all the time. Isn't a locking blade forbidden, and aren't certain other things on that knife, like the fact that you could hold the handle and drop hold the blade and drop the handle?
Yeah, so the gravity test thing has kind of been phased out a little bit from what I know. I think Knife Rights and I forgot who else helped do this, but I don't know if that information has been spread widely enough to the officers that will enforce laws, right? I've asked officers and detectives and retired officers and all this, and every answer I get is different, like literally every answer. Most of them do say that if the blade fits in your palm, you're good, right? But at the same time, it depends on why you were frisked in the first place.
Yeah.
So I never carry like with the pocket clip when I'm on the train. I just avoid that altogether. I never use my knives in public. I'm always using my knives inside my shop, or when I used to work in an office, the people there were cool and they were like, you know what?
Oh, that's Ray.
He's just a knife guy. Let him fucking use this shit, But I just am super safe. I don't do backflips or cartwheels in front of police officers or anything.
Put a table out in front of the turnstile and you can...
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm talking about. So I've never gotten frisked or anything. I've only gotten bag checked once, and it was because this is when I worked in a really high end like jewelry like firm or whatever, and they sold like diamond necklaces that were like $200K, and I was wearing a suit and tie. I had a ponytail. It was raining, and I had a very like decorative kind of like katana like umbrella. But the handle of the actual umbrella, I know that this has been bootlegged a lot, but I had like a really nice one, like handmade and all that, and I was just carrying it. And they stopped me. This was in Penn Station. They were like, "Hey, and they said some pretty racial stuff, man. They were like,
"Come in here with a samurai."
Like, we had to stop you because you had a kamikaze case. Like, Jesus. Like, what? They looked at it. It was an umbrella, and they were like, "No." I was like, "Officer, is this illegal?" And then they were like, "No, but just this is good for home use, especially now, dude."
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
get him.
Yeah, exactly. Dead meat.
He has a green card.
He's gonna try some chop sake on us.
Yeah, exactly.